This morning I was reading the Bible and I went back to read an old story that I used to love in Sunday school. We all know the story about David and Goliath. But this morning I really wanted to just go back and read it again. And as I'm reading it, 1 Samuel 17 from verse 38, because we all know the story. I'm not going to go through the whole story. We all know the story of David and Goliath. But what caught my attention this morning, or caught my eye this morning, was the part where when David was brought before Saul now because of what he was saying, and Saul gave him the okay to go up against Goliath, the Philistine. Saul now tries to give David his garments, his helmet, his coat of armor, his sword. And David actually goes and put this on, right? Because Saul suggested he wears this to go up against the giant. But when David put the garments on, the helmet, the coat of armor, the sword, he realized that he couldn't walk in it. The stuff was probably too big for little David. He wasn't used to it. And so when he tried to walk, he found that he couldn't walk. So he said to Saul, listen, I can't go up against the Philistine in this, in this garment, in the helmet and everything else that Saul gave him. He said, I just can't. I can't do it. And David decided that he would take 5 smooth stones from the brook and a sling. David doesn't even have a sword to go up against this giant, right? It made me realize something this morning as I read it, and I've read it so many times before, but it made me realize something this morning. How many times do we try, and because we see somebody else they've achieved success, they are doing well in their business, they are doing well in their church, pastors are doing well in their church, the church is growing, they're getting more members, and another pastor might be looking at it saying, he must be doing something right. Maybe if I follow the methods he's using, maybe if I follow this or use the strategies and the ways that he's using in growing his congregation, maybe it will work for me. Some of us look at other people and we think, maybe I need to change the way I look. Maybe I need to start dressing like this person is dressing. Maybe I need to start, doing this kind of show or go on TV because so-and-so is doing it and it's bringing them a great amount of a success. Let me tell you this morning, based just on those 2 verses in that whole chapter, what works for somebody else might not necessarily work for you. Just because Saul was okay to wear all of the stuff to go into battle and he was okay with it, doesn't mean David was going to be okay with it. You see, Saul was used to wearing it, and not just used to wearing it, the helmet, the armor was made to fit him. It was made to his size, not to the size of David. It was made to fit Saul. Sometimes we want to take on something because we think because it worked for somebody else, it's going to work for us. And that's not how it all works. If we can stay in our own lane, if we can stay with what we know works for us, if we can say the way David said, because David said, I know that the Lord is with me, because the Lord who was with me and delivered me from the paw of the lion, the Lord that was with me and delivered me from the paw of the bear, I know that he is with me to deliver me from this Philistine. And David stuck to what he believed would work for him because he was confident that God was with him, even in this battle. And so I just wanted to come on here and encourage you today. Don't try and be like somebody else. Don't try and use somebody else's ways, methods, strategies, thinking that because it worked for them, it's going to work for you. Find out from God, what is it that you are supposed to be doing? And if you know that, stick with that and know that God is with you, and God will bring you the victory, or God will cause you to see the kind of success that you have been waiting for. So I hope this bless you. Be the best you can be, like I've always said. Be the best that you can be, but know that the best that you are is the best that you know God would want you to be. Have a wonderful day. I love you, and I will see you again soon. Bye.